Hi, we're back to Discovery. Boy, what an interesting week it is at SNG. We've been working very hard on, but something is there, and because we are in the last days of finishing it, so I'm working on the interior that Elliot Brown provided for me, which is downscaled from the Stargazer kit, the 1/72 Stargazer kit. You can see there's a little. He sent me some little men to put in there. Of course, I only need one who will sit in there. I'm going to put a yellow suit on him, and because that's going to be Gary Lockwood, right? So, Commander Pull sitting there, so that it makes sense that when this is open and there's a pod in there, there wouldn't be anybody sitting in the window if it was when Dave Bowman was going out to get Poole. There'd be no one there, and then there would just be the one extra pod, which I had. And then it occurred to me, well, you can't have everybody sitting in the window, which I really want to have. So I decided I will take one of the bigger ones, and you can see the big difference between the two. The original one that came from Shapeways was these. I got two of these, and they're just huge. I mean, compared, they're not, well, they're not huge, but these are more resolved too. So anyway, I really like these, and so I'm going to have one sitting on the one bay over here, and the other one will be this one on this side. And as long as there's a pod there, at least it'll sell the lie, I hope. So because there'd only be one pod out, and Gary Lockwood would be sitting in the window. So that's what I'm doing. So what I had done is I light blocked a lot of this, and then put in the white and the black. You're not going to be able to see a lot of this. So, but this is that's the front part. So what I need to do now that I've blacked out all of these, I mean, look at that crazy amount of brass work that was done there. I shouldn't hold it that close to the light, because what I've learned is that if I hold it too close to the light, it gets too hot. So you can see right through those. Really nice brass work, Elliot. So what I need to do now is start placing these. Well, this one goes here. See? Isn't that neat? It's so neat. It is just, oh, I'm holding it into that bright light again, and it's washing everything out. Under there is fine. So we're going to place each one of these, and this, of course, is the one that's got all the HAL screens on it, and it goes under here, which will go in next. And then these go around the sides, around the windows, like so. Actually, this one goes on this side. So let's put these in. I think it'll be really cool to do. So I'll show you one of them. And I mean, it's pretty easy stuff. It took me a minute to figure out how it all went together. But then again, Elliot, as always, assumed that I'd figure it out. And you're right. Still, no, yes, no. It would have been nice to have the usual little Elliot Brown. He always does these great little instructions, just like out of some model company, because, well, he kind of is a model company. And he has instructions and arrows pointing to what things are on the sheet and how they go. He suggests that it may go here and it may go there, and maybe you can get it to fit. They always fit. So let me go get a popsicle stick. So then I get this nice little tool for putting on glue. So I believe that the bigger screens, it's hard to tell because you can't get a good look at this interior picture-wise, but I'm going to take my best guess, and I'm assuming that these two large screens probably are not on top of his head, so I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to take a little bit of glue here, yada, yada, yada. He says a little bit of glue as he loads it on. I like to use the medium because brass, when it makes contact with a polyester resin, seems to really go off quickly. I'm not sure what the science is behind that, but it does. So then we got that. I'm going to press it down like so. Should stay, see what I mean? I mean, it really went off fast. And it's down, and it's in there, and I'll reflect some white behind it. And you can see how all that stuff will light up really well. And, you know, if we're looking at a model and you look through like this and look up, you might see it. I think that was Elliot's theory. And I'm going to put another one in. Tomorrow, once this is all done, I'm going to push it inside the model itself, and we can see how it looks all lit up in there, which ought to be really cool. It's really remarkable how this stuff scaled down so well. But a little tricky to get this part in here. Oh! Good shooting, Tex. It might take me a minute to do this one. This one's real hard to do. There, got it in there. Press, press, press. Get that part to stick first. Okay. And now try to get these to stay down. I'll put a little glue under them. This is really neat. I just love miniature stuff. I just built a garage, an old style garage for Steve Neal's garage, in fact, for my slot car track, all out of balsa wood, and lit it up, put windows in it, doors that open and stuff. And I just had the best time making that. And I can't wait to move on to the grandstand and some other structures that will be present on the track. So I just love doing miniatures. I think we all do, don't we? All right, so that's being a little picky, but that's why we've got, and thanks, George, if you're listening or watching, for getting me the spray bottle version of the zip kicker, because that immediately got that down. So now there's all the HAL screens, the HAL eye, which you can just barely see there. And of course, all that will be lit up too. I mean, can we see it through the windows? You know, you can actually. So now comes the tricky part. This piece, I believe, goes, yes, this piece goes here. This is on the back side. There's actually a tunnel that goes here that's a doorway. After I get all this stuff in here, I will do a little bit of hogging out in a few spots, because I think this is pretty thin, and I can do that. This goes here, obviously. Right now, Elliot's going, no, no, not that way. So, Rosie is making I want to go out noises. Okay, I'm going to do a little spray there, a little pressing down really quick before it goes off. That is secure. Now we got those all lit up there, which is really neat. So, and that leaves these. The small one goes, the smaller one goes underneath, this one goes on top. So, I'm gonna trim off this little tab. And I'll show you where these go, and then I have to take my dog out. Can you hear her, Mary? These go right there. This is really cool what Elliot's done. I'm so impressed with it. This is supposed to go in a little further than it is. I think I trimmed this one to fit better on this side. I had to do a little trimming. I think I can get this one to go in correctly so I can show you. Then I'll glue these in. I mean, they're pointy, sharp pieces of brass, and you see it fits right to the edge of that window frame, and then I know I'm in the right spot. And I'm never going to get it to go in exactly. So, but I can get it pretty darn close. So, good. Now I put some glue behind that. Slippery little bugger. figured it'd be best just to put the glue in on the edge like this. It doesn't take much to hold this in. Okay, good landing. There we go, in we go. Press. Press. It sticks to me really good. Too good, in fact. There we go. And then, of course, this whole thing closes up like so. Don't you love it when everything goes together the way it's supposed to? And this really is. There's a little bit of stuff that's off, but I can't get the camera inside to see this, so I'll probably have to take some pictures, but it's really quite remarkable. I just have to do the other one, and then and I promise I'll take the dog out. Just gonna trim a little off there. Tiny bit off there. Hang on, Rose. And she gave up for now, but she'll be back. For some reason, I can't get this one to go in the same way. Oh, there it goes. Never say die, say one dice, please. Remember that, the checkered demon? The Arcrum stuff. So there, that one's in now. I mean, that's pretty neat. I don't know what goes up here, but we're not gonna be able to see it anyway. I still may paint it, but God, Elliot, this is just wonderful. That's just such a cool thing. I wish I had a lighted something or other to put behind it, but you get the idea. That'll all be lit up. Very, very nice. So, what has to happen next, of course, is I gotta paint up a little figure, put it in there. Then I'm gonna put this whole thing together and take a peek at it, see how it looks. We're gonna put it, it will be lit up by the lights that are underneath here, and some around the side I'll put, and that'll light this up pretty good. And if anybody ever gets their eyeball right up there and looks in, they're gonna see a pretty well completed interior. There's still a lot of stuff that has to go down in here, and I don't have any brass for that I can see. But what I will do is paint it black down in there, and that should suffice. But wow, that's really cool. It went together really easy. And actually it goes this way. That's where the astronauts sit, the screen, how it's that's so neat. But you can't see it, but I can. But we'll get some pictures, so. Great job. So tomorrow, since I have to leave shortly, we will put this together, put it inside here, light it up, and see what we can see. Elliot tells us we're going to be able to see a fair amount of stuff in there. Either way, it's going to be great to have the interior in there and be able to look and see cool things that other people building this model don't have. So we'll come back tomorrow and do more. Okay, so we're back to Discovery. It's the next day, it's like I promised. And what I want to show you is something that I didn't show the process of, although it was pretty easy. And all I did was take a Dremel tool like that with a small drill bit, and I went into here and I drilled some holes like that into where the headlights go. Then I took, and I will find it here, some fiber optics like this, and I need to turn on the soldering iron. We're going to bloom this, and what that'll do is make little headlight lenses just like the ones they have on the actual Discovery. Should I see if this is hot? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, it's getting there. Gets there fast too. So we're kind of waiting on that. These are all parts I have yet to put in, which are going to go on the engine section. We have our interior, and there's a little Frank pull in there, sitting there. I'm not quite sure how this is going to light up and glow, but I have a funny feeling that once I have a whole bunch of light these lights that are inside here are so bright to light up that interior. They're on top, so they're shining up this way, and my hope is it's going to make this whole thing glow. So anyway, here we go. We're going to bloom this. And see, now that I've heated that up like that, I got a nice little headlight. I'll show you. I'll put this up against here. And we got a headlight. Isn't that cool? So what I did next is I took I kind of bent it around like this because it's really cramped in there, and it's real hard to get the thing to come through. Well, it made a liar out of me. It was really easy that time, but I just fed it through like that. It's bloomed, so I can put it in like so, and then I can eventually hook it up to an LED light source, and we've got a glowing headlight in there. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, what did I do to hide these? What was it? You know, and I went around and around about it, what I could do to make this work, and it's a problem. The lights I used are the ones that Elliot Brown was so kind to give me so many of, and of course, I have misplaced them. And I don't remember or recall if I thanked Elliot for the last batch of stuff he sent me. He sent me a ton of these, and I'm so glad. They're really tiny little LEDs, and they're quite bright. And you can see that it has that magnetic wire, which is really hard to see. And there's just enough of it that it, going from there to there, I can hide it going inside there. So I started thinking, which is dangerous. And somewhere over here I have some aluminum tubing. Okay, so here's the aluminum, and it's very thin. And what I did is I cut a little piece of it like this. I don't know if you knew you could do that, but you can. Aluminum is very soft. So, and I made sure that, it's bored out pretty good. Now, we had our fiber optics, and what I did is I shoved them down in here, all four of them, into this tube. I cut it quite short at the base of this so that most of this is up inside, and this light fits very well inside here. And of course, it's very well light blocked because aluminum does not transmit light. So I did that, and then I took the base here, I cut a hole in it, and I mounted this in like so. Now, as you can see, it looks like it's starting to float off the pad. I have to paint this and put the little round disc back. But once it's lit up, and I'm going to have Mary shoot a close-up of that. Plus, I'm going to have it raised up a bit like this and paint that black. So you can see how this is like floating off the pad, which is really cool because now you can see inside the bay a bit more, and it's starting to turn a little bit. You really don't notice it's sitting on that piece. And then from underneath, there's very little sticking down, and that wire there, this wire here, will disappear along one of those rails inside the ship. I will paint the aluminum down there black, paint the pad black again, and we have the pod coming off of the ramp and starting to float up into space. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to get Frank Poole inside. Now that I've done all that, and see if we can see anything in this interior. I am so crazy about how this came out. Here, I'll put my hand in. I am so crazy about this. This came out so well, and they're really bright. I'll turn off the lights a little bit here, and you can get an idea just how bright those are. And that's from one of those little LEDs. In fact, I've got a little bit of a light leak going on in there. That's coming through the fiber optics. So what I'm going to do, of course, is paint more paint on the outside and block it. But that was extremely successful. And even from the side, you can see they're lit up. So that was a win-win. I am so happy. I got to thank Falconware because on Shapeways, because his have large cavities that you hardly have to drill very far through at all to open it up to put the fiber optics through. Okay, so what I want to do next is very carefully untape all this. We are getting there with this model. I put the two halves of the bridge together. I put a little Gary Lockwood in there. Boy, this tape sticks good. And so that's really worked out well. I'm going to try to get this down here without breaking everything. And this should fit inside here fairly well, I hope. Although there is a bunch of lights on top. But as I recall, it cleared the lights. Boy, it just leaped in there. It goes right there. And what I'm going to do is tape it in, I guess, for now. There we go. Oh, boy, Elliot, you can see in there. Absolutely you can. Not a heck of a lot, but I see Frank Poole sitting there, which is pretty darn awesome. So I'm going to get this in there. I'm going to turn off the lights for now so I don't short anything out. And I'm going to tape this in, and we'll have a look at how it looks, in a moment. Okay, so I've got the cockpit in. I don't see that much in there, and you're really not going to be able to see it with camera either, because if Mary gets really close, it's going to be hard to look in there. So I'll take sort of some pictures. You can see Gary Lockwood sitting there, and you can see how he's kind of perched down. You have to lift the camera up. There he is. And if you tilt it like this and go up, tilt and go, then tilt down, you can just see him in his little yellow outfit in there. It does help to have the interior. It definitely does. You can see the seats. It's pretty dang cool. I just temporarily tacked it in, but it's getting plenty of light. I don't need any more light in there than that. I think that's just perfect. And of course, this worked out really well. So now I can finish off the pods. What I have to do, of course, is paint them. I've got to do these little hands here and attach them to here. But this is really cool. And I can see right now that I had some movement. What happens is that until these get locked in, you got to push them back. The headlights, there we go. So I'm really, really pleased. I like the cockpit. I wish I could see more in there. I can see some stuff. I definitely can. I'd need better glasses to really see in there. I don't know if somebody doing like this is going to see that much, but the impression I get is I can definitely see those seats, and I can see Gary Lockwood sitting in there in his yellow outfit and his dark hair, his black hair, and I can look up there and I can see stuff in there. So it's really cool. It's about as much as you would see. So thank you, Elliot. It's really cool. And so we got all that stuff in. What we got to do next week is put in these parts here. And I want to put all these parts here, back here, to give some more relief to the engine section. Then we're going to lock this all down, and then Steve's going to start weathering and making it look, all painted and stuff. Once that's all done, then we're going to make the stand that mounts on the wall with the stars behind it and stuff. So that's going to be really cool. That'll all happen next week, and we'll see you then.